This is probably my favorite video to make, favorite topic to talk about. It's again one we've debated for the 13 years we've been at this. Really, it's debated back to how I learned mediation at the University of Hawaii. I remember in 2013, let's use Uber as an example. If Uber accepts a driver, Uber has the liability to ensure that driver's license is licensed. His or her license is current, valid, hasn't been taken due to a DUI or some other kind of traffic or other infraction. And then, as that driver continues to drive, insurance and ongoing status of the license are required. Each of the 50 states have different requirements for mediators. And in the beginning, when we began the company and the methodology, this was very much mediation. Probably 8-9 years ago, we dropped mediation. Stanley and I always had this debate about when we were studying for our masters, what we call the human elements. The only way a mediator can be successful is if he or she is neutral. When you lose neutrality, mediation falls apart, very much like TeDR. However, we decided when we left, we're not offering mediation. We're offering electronic negotiation. So we don't need to take the liability of staying current, all the educational requirements to stay current with your mediation certification across 50 states. We decided to go at it completely different and offer e-negotiation, electronic negotiation. But in order to make that happen, process and technology, is everybody's kind of scared of AI. So we call it technology enhanced. And in this case, it's also including this human element we call case manager. There's 120 plus graduate programs that offer master certificates in conflict resolution. And so there's an abundance of available labor of highly educated people in the conflict resolution industry. Additionally, we think we could take retired folks like ARP members and make them conflict resolution case managers, because it's a little bit tech, it's a little bit customer service, it's a little bit dispute resolution neutrality, but it's really navigating and making sure that the two parties or more parties in conflict get the most from the technology and the technology platform and the process. So we see this as key, the human element. That person, use TurboTax. If you're trying to figure out if you can deduct your expenses of, let's say you have a home office and you want to take a portion of your mortgage and maybe some of your utilities on a per square foot ratio, you can't go on to TurboTax and say, hey, and get advice on tax preparation. Their code is presented, and that's a lot like what we have going on here. Is our case managers are not mediators. Our case managers are not lawyers. They cannot give advice, but they can embrace the users and help them navigate this really unique process. And so we look forward to hiring and training our own case managers. And we see them being sort of like Uber drivers, in the sense that if you want to make some extra money, you want to log onto the system and you want to drive, pick up drives until you want to sign off. You want to help and be a case manager, take on your cases, work your cases daily, log on, be compensated the time-wise to manage your cases. That's how we see this concept of the future. So we see finally being able to take advantage of these people who earn these master certificates programs, certificates and PhDs in conflict resolution. So it's going to be a really exciting time to marry the human element and AI.